discussion.
Did we have some action items we actually need to decide? Or just pass the overall?
I think this was just informing of what we talked about.
Yeah, the last
We had the
one.
two water.
Cause I missed the meeting.
Yeah, we had 3 out of 5 board members on it.
And so those minutes were,
meetings.
yeah, 2 minutes, and everybody had the meetings, or had the meeting minutes. And the, Gianna, would you wanna summarize, or I can summarize talked about moving the commercial accounts and instead of giving them a 5,000 gallon monthly, just all commercial accounts go to a straight flat fee like they have currently, but not giving the 5,000 and then start charging every commercial account just for 1,000.
Per 1,000, yeah.
I didn't understand the logic for that. It's a minor change, but we have a hard time defining what's a commercial account and what's not. And
that,
it's, why charge them differently than anybody else? For
Well,
exactly the same thing.
I think, Paul, what we came to is that there's a lot of our residents who feel like there's a disparity in the advantages of commercial business over residential business. So as we were trying to define, how can we best define commercial business and separate it out from residential, we kind of went through a very long and painful discussion, but did eventually sieve out some good nuggets, which were that commercial accounts kind of get some extra benefit over residential, non-commercial accounts by getting that 5,000 gallons plus not necessarily having all of their businesses accounted for in those places that have multiple businesses. So we, for instance, talked about McDonald's and how they have float houses as a business, they have cabins as a business, they have a store as a business, they now have a restaurant above the store as a business. And so there were quite a few other things, and so we were trying to define, okay, how do we make sure that all the commercial accounts are actually paying for the number of commercial businesses, and creating some kind of dividing line that allowed us to say to residential customers, no, you're not paying the same as commercial accounts, and they don't get the free gallonage that you get, because frankly they do get other services that a lot of residences don't, more frequent pump outs, all those kinds of things. Although we were talking water, I know, but we were, let me tell you, the lines cross over very frequently, and they did in our discussion, because you kind of look at things with a straight line method where you want to have things jibe at least between water and sewer. And so this seemed to be a way that would allow us to divide out, plus making sure that commercial accounts all got that 2-inch line as part of what their benefit was for doing it and billing it out that way.
and then also not, being fair to the businesses that in the wintertime don't have as much revenue coming in.
Right.
And so they wouldn't be given the 5,000 gallons, they'd only have to pay a fraction of what they'd be paying in the summertime, in the wintertime.
But it wouldn't go down in the winter, they'd still be paying the same. They'd
Flat
still be
rate,
paying,
flat
they'd still be
rate,
paying
yeah.
more. How many businesses do we have to apply this to?
There's a number of them, and I think the board was also saying that defining commercial might be easier than defining,
Business.
defining what residential
So
is,
for
but-
instance, Paul, like the RV park over here, that blows out and shuts down their water in the wintertime. They won't be paying more, they'll be paying less. They'll pay for all the water they use in the summer, but they won't be,
Yeah,
well,
just
they
the
won't
base.
be, yeah, they'll only be paying the base, is what I'm saying. And so all the commercial accounts will actually paying for all the water they use, but they won't be getting jabbed for water they're not using. You know, we won't, I don't know how to explain it well.
it's difficult because there's so much that crosses over.
There is.
Well,
Can't say I see it favorably.
it's kind of basic for the fact that there's only one meter and so many services.
Connected to that one. meter.
But they're paying for a lot of services. And that's the difference between our commercial and say a city of Coeur d'Alene. City of Coeur d'Alene may have a, 2-inch meter. They just pay the 2-inch meter charge, which is more, might be $200 per month. But we're billing them for 42 residential services. We're billing them for a lot. I mean, I don't think you can make the case that our commercial people are getting a great deal at this point, or paying less than they're getting. It seems to me they're paying pretty well. And I just
Well, I think
wouldn't
they're
want to
paying
open
what
that
they
Pandora's
use.
box.
I don't think they're getting a free deal.
Yeah, I don't think we need to open up Pandora's box of different people pay different amounts. Oh, that's commercial. No, that's not commercial. He has a garage in his house and he's servicing vehicles out of it. Oh boy. It just seems like a cleaner just charge everybody the same. It's a small town.
Well, but then doesn't everybody have the right to say, I want a 2-inch line coming into my residence, cause I have a shop and I'm doing some stuff in there and I need that?
Well, we can regulate
I
that
mean-
from people who have who are paying multiple residential equivalents, basically, not the right term, through a 3/4 inch meter. I mean, they're paying for 40 some through a 1-inch meter. They're paying a lot for that 1-inch meter. McDonald's is paying, they have several meters,
Yeah, there's an all 2-inch.
but they're paying for, multiple residential equivalents. And we make a lot of revenue off our commercial outfits.
Well, I think part of it, Paul, was we were trying to define, are there a number of businesses who aren't actually paying as individual commercial accounts? And that, I think, was where we came down to, yeah, actually there are a number of businesses that don't pay for the number of actual accounts they're running through a single meter.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, okay, should we meter, and just using McDonald's for an example, obviously nothing set in stone or sand or anything else, but, the cabins are more a resort. So should that be one business that pays on one new meter? And then the float houses are separate of that, and the marina is separate of that. Are we actually doing all the things we should be doing? And some of it was with regard to the fact that we don't have unlimited funds, but we certainly have unlimited projects that need to get accomplished. And
We seem to.
we don't wanna in any way, screw, to be personally blunt, our commercial clients, but we also wanna make sure that we're not being so generous that we can't keep our revenue flow going to do these essential projects that we know we've got coming down the pipeline. And it kind of started with the whole Scenic Bay thing because of them being underserved and more likely to be litigious about it. And so it really made us have to have some deep